Morning. So I was coming on here because I've been kind of reading statuses this weekend in groups, of course. And I kind of just look at what questions get asked just because I like to continue researching Hidradenitis Suppurativa. And if I said it wrong, I'm more than likely saying it wrong. So I'm just going to say HS. So it's concerning because, you know, we go see these professional dermatologists, doctors, and we're asking questions about our body and why HS, you know, symptoms are appearing on our skin, whether it be in a form of a boil, pus balls, cysts, open wounds, leaking open areas in the body, and so forth. And, you know, my son, who was diagnosed with HS years ago, he's showed an enormous amount of progress. This weekend, for the first time, I saw him actually playing, wrestling with my boyfriend, like physically wrestling with him. And I've never seen my son wrestle with anybody. And it's only because my son has had HS since he was 7 years old. So he's always been in pain. You know, he's always been tired. He's never engaged in any type of physical activity because he's always in pain. So I know that one of the questions that I got asked over the weekend, I believe yesterday, this young lady asked me, you know, you promote gluten and a dairy-free lifestyle. You know, what do you believe is the best choice to start with? And honestly, it's not even so much a gluten-free lifestyle, but it's going to be a lectin-free lifestyle. Now that I've done so much background discovering and how the body's impacted by what we eat. And the only reason I went with gluten initially is because wheat is in everything. It is in dairy products. It's in bread. It's in pasta. It's in canned goods. It's in canned meats. It's in jars. It's just practically in everything and anything that you can think of, whether it be sweets down to dry food, wet food. It don't matter. Liquids, solids, alcohol beverages, children food. It's just in everything. It's even in dog food. You know, it's just in everything. And I didn't realize that you know, when we're eating, never are we taught, you know, the risks that we take when we're eating food that is altered, and on so many levels, because we're now, like, I believe we're the third generation of what wheat's been altered into. You know, our children are our third generation. I'm the second generation, and I believe our children, my son, which is the third generation of what gluten impacts are. And so the young lady, she asked, you know, would you start with gluten or dairy free? And my response is going to be lectin. And the main culprit in lectin is actually gluten. Gluten is in lectins, or considered part of the lectin family. And that's included with like nightshades and so forth. So I always recommend, if you're going to go on a diet elimination process, go with removing wheat first. Even though it's part of the lectin family, go with wheat because it's such a major component that's in everything. And she asked a follow-up question, well, you know, I'm worried about corn. And I'm like, yeah, you know what, I would be too, because corn is used as a starch or a binder or a preservative. Same thing with potato. Potato starch is used in the same manner. So is soybeans. And those are all considered lectin proteins. So with those items, though, they're actually not in a lot of stuff. They are in a variety of stuff, but not a lot. Not like the way wheat, which is gluten, is. Wheat is actually misused in the food industry. And the reason why it's used or misused so much is because it's put into everything, so that way it adds preservation to what we eat. So if you buy a loaf of bread, and I've done